Hey guys, I'm Roger Gaming, and I am your coach for the Las Vegas Corviknights. Today we have our Week 2 matchup. Let's get started. Here we have our opponent's team. I am very concerned about a Haxorus, which is the mon on the top left. It can be, if it's Choice Bandit, it can do a ton of damage to my team. Um, then next to it we have Rotom Frost, which I feel like Ice Spam is really good in this league. It's something people tend to underestimate, and Ice can be really phenomenal. Reuniclus is a very good setup mon. Can use like stored power to great effect and have be very difficult to handle as regard. Then we have Malmar, which has the contrary ability. I think that's what it's called. Where is it's instead of its stats dropping, it raises it, so it can be a very threatening setup mon. Because instead of dropping its own stats, it raises them, making it very hard to kill with moves like close combat and great typing. Then we have Skarmory. Skarmory is just pretty much a very good bulky mon. At the bottom we have Seismitoad. I highly anticipate him to bring it. It's great stab, and it gets moves that can potentially counter Gastrodon with Power Whip, I believe is what it gets. Togekiss, amazing fairy flying type, which I believe is potentially going to come. It has a decent matchup. Arcanine, I anticipate that probably coming too. It's fairly good against my team, and it has the Intimidate ability, allowing us to lower my attack. A Gourgeist Large, which is a grass. Ghost type probably is not going to come, and final mon is Reboot. I think that's a very potential candidate. It's often overlooked because it's like a pre-evolution, but it can still hit pretty hard, and it gets access to pretty much the same moves. It just doesn't get Pyro Ball, so it gets high jump kick, sucker punch, U-turn, all the good moves. And let's get into my team. So I have basically Corviknight. I thought had an okay match, but again I was concerned about the reboot that could potentially come. Gudra with it have their good fairy type. I didn't think it was gonna have a great matchup. And then finally, again with their great fairy type, I did not bring Terrakion or Skuntank, as I feared their fairy moves, and kind of I didn't think they did a ton in the match. So here we go. We have our first type. We have Gary the Gastrodon with it rocking his leftovers with the Storm Drain ability. This is a very great defensive mon for his team, pretty much walling my opponent. He has again Pokemon like Seismitoad, but with the Storm Drain ability, as long as I avoid the grass moves, I can do tremendous amounts of damage to him and pretty much live the majority of hits. I'm more defensive than specially defensive with the relaxed nature. And let's get into our next mon, Hatterene, Mad Hatter. She is absolutely incredible into Trick Room this game. Giga Drain allows me to pretty much one-shot the Seismitoad. I believe it's 100% guaranteed to one-shot the Seismitoad, as long as he doesn't have a barrier or anything odd. Shadow Ball is just great coverage. Psychic just does a tremendous amount to his team. Shadow Ball is there for particularly the Gourgeist in case that comes. I don't think it will, but in case it comes, I think I need to have something that can hit that super effectively. And it just Trick Room, it outspeeds, and Shadow Ball is also there for Reuniclus. Potentially getting special defense drops and all that really helps. And this is a big hitter and potentially going to poke holes in his team quite well. Then we have our amazing Vanillux, which I think is incredible. It Freeze Dry allows us to 100% kill the Seismitoad. Blizzard does a tremendous amount and kills Haxorus in one shot, and it goes in. The one thing that's gonna wall it is pretty much his Rotom Frost. I can't do too much to that, but I can switch out and try to basically avoid that and try to do some stuff. I have Ice Shard just in case there's a little bit a situation where I potentially Haxorus is low and I can switch in and one-shot it easily if he's faster than I am. I don't believe he will be because I'm Scarfed, but in case he's like a Scarfer or does something I'm not expecting, I have that ability to potentially, if he's set up or something, I have that ability to hit him really hard and potentially knock him out. Alright, so we have Sola the Cursula with our modest nature. Again, this thing puts in a ton of work. I have strength for Haxorus, which allows us to regain pretty much our entire health. Giga Drain for Seismitoad just absolutely does a number on him. Shadow Ball for Gorgeist, Reuniclus, and some of his other mons that just puts in a ton of work. Shadow Ball also hits the Skarmory. Really, it pretty much chucks him for about half. So this allows us to take Skarmory very well, and he can't do much against this. And it also is a great wall to his team. Perish Body allowing us to, if he hits us, allowing us to cause the attacker to faint in 3 turns, as well as ourselves if we don't switch out. Alright, now we have Nirvana the Dermanitan with Rockiness Choice Scarf. Sheer Force, Adamant Nature. This thing just goes in, pretty much. His team cannot handle it. It outspeeds everything, and Flare Blitz does a ton. Quake Iron Head for potentially if he brings his Togekiss, which I'm not sure he will, but in case he is, that's a mon I'm fairly afraid of. But Flare Blitz, if he does, just does absolutely it, like pretty much 2 shots, one shots or 2 shots his entire team. So Dormanitan is great this matchup. Jolteon, again, I was kind of concerned about the Togekiss, so this just goes in. Shadow Ball for the Reuniclus, Thunderbolt for the Togekiss, and Weather Ball. So I'm anticipating to have Hail Up. If I use Weather Ball in Hail, I am guaranteed to one-shot the Haxorus, which is just another way to hit him really hard. And also the Shadow Ball and Weather Ball allow me to hit um, Seismitoad, which is important. I'm max speed and choice specs to get the most damage output. Alright, let's get ready for the battle. He did not end up bringing the Togekiss, which I'm grateful for. He does lead Haxorus. Fortunately, I led Hatterene, which absolutely he does not want to stand for this, because I can pretty much do a ton of damage. I'm in a Trick Room, anticipating him to switch out, and that allows us to, unfortunately, Reuniclus is most likely going to be faster. But, so he's going to Calm Mind, but I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball, which should chunk him for a pretty bit. And hopefully we'll be able to get the special defense drop, which we do, which is great. So we can continue to hit him with Shadow Balls. He can recover and continue to set up on us, but after one more Shadow Ball, we should be able to, he should be in range to potentially get KO'd. Yeah, so he has to recover here, and I'm going to just continue to Shadow Ball because we are in a great spot, and once Trick Room runs out, I will be able to kill him. So I'm going to just Shadow Ball and hope we get more special defense drops, or if we don't, we're going to kill him soon. This is a winning battle for us, because as soon as Trick Room runs out, we are going to be faster, and we will be able to just absolutely destroy him, which is great. And looking at his team, I think Hatterene just puts in work. A lot of work. Alright, so this turn we should be able to kill him. He could potentially switch, but I'm just going to hit what's in front of me and go for Shadow Ball. And we connect on the Malmar, which we do a pretty good chunk to it. I am going to switch, because I am not going to... Actually, you know what? He's going to probably switch. My bad. He switches. I'm going to switch as well into my Sola, which pretty much walled his Malmar, and Skarmory can't do anything to us. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, because in the face of this thing, because as I said, did pretty much 50%. So if he stays in, I'm going to just go again for another Shadow Ball. He's going to sack his Reuniclus here, which was a good move, potentially. I think he could have probably set up later, so that might have not been his best move. But we just take out his Reuniclus, which is a big threat for our team. And he's probably, imagine, yeah, he's going back in his Malmar. I'm going to switch, anticipating him to go for a dark move on me. Gastrodon is probably a better play, so I decided to switch. His Night Slash, I was fearing for Sola, I switch into Gary. Gary takes that hit amazingly well, and I can pretty much hit him with a Scald. Unfortunately, switches into a Seismitoad, which is going to eat that up. I'm going to switch out and go back into my Sola, because I can't do too much to this thing, and we pretty much do about the same, and I think Sola with its Giga Drain can do a lot more. Actually, I'm gonna go into, instead of Solo, I'm gonna go into my Hatterene and go for the Giga Drain. Unfortunately, he misses his attack, which sucks for him. I'm gonna go straight for the Giga Drain. He'll probably be able to be faster, but I think I can live a hit. Unfortunately, I am not able to live that hit, so I'm going to go back into my Sola and be able to pressure him out in that way. Or actually, Vanillux goes in at this point. So I'm going Vanillux. I can freeze dry, which I'm going to do in the face of this Seismitoad. Unfortunately, he goes to Rotom Frost, so I'm not going to be able to do too much to him. But I'm pretty sure he's going to switch out because he doesn't want to take me on. So I'm going to go into my Jolteon, which allows me to, on his Volt Switch, allows me to recover my health. And I can hit this thing with a Thunderbolt or a Shadow Ball. So I'm probably going to go for the Shadow Ball because he's probably going to switch into Seismitoad, and if he does, I'm not going to do anything with a Thunderbolt, and I'll be able to hit him with a Shadow Ball. Because, in case he switched, so now all I have to do, I'm choice locked into Shadow Ball, but I'm going to stay in and continue to hit that Shadow Ball, because I am guaranteed faster than the Seismitoad, and I can kill it now with that special defense drop. So if he wants to switch, that's great on him. He does end up switching to his Malmar. I'm gonna switch into my Sola because I don't want him close combating, and if he does, Sola prevents him from setting up through close combat with his ability. Super effectively, or he's not gonna hit me super effectively, but he can hit me rather hard, and I think Sola also walls this thing. So he unfortunately goes for a rest, which is, it was a good decision for me to switch, and he is Lumberry, which allows him to wake up instantly. So Hail has ended. I'm going to go for just the Shadow Ball and just try to keep hitting this thing hard. He does quite a bit to me. I snag the Perish Buddy, so he's going to faint in three turns. I hit him decently well. I can, I'm gonna just keep Shadow Balling. I think that's my best play. He superpowers expecting me to switch. I don't, so that doesn't do anything to me, and I can just keep Shadow Balling him, and that'll do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, I do get the special defense drop, and because his ability, it causes his special defense to go up. So it's gonna be a little harder for me to kill, but I'm gonna just stay in, and if he keeps going at it, he's gonna kill me, and I'm gonna take in turn his Malmar. So I think it's beneficial for me to just stay in. If he decides to stay in and kill me, he dies, and if basically, and he's a huge threat. So he does end up deciding to kill me, which causes his Malmar to faint, which is great. I'm gonna go immediately into my Vanillux because his team does not want to take that. My Vanillux does incredible work against his team, and yeah. So he goes to Skarmory. Again, I'm going to go into my Vanillux. I'm going to just straight up Blizzard. I think this thing is phenomenal. And the only Mon that wants to take a Blizzard is his Rotom Frost, and his Skarmory dies because of it. So I'm looking very good at this point. As long as I keep my Vanillux alive, I can handle, it can definitely 2v1 the Haxorus and Seismitoad. And so his Rotom, I'm going to switch on his Rotom, going into my Darmanitan, because I am certain I can kill this thing with a Flare Blitz. That's a 100% chance guaranteed to kill. With Hail, and it's going to be close whether I live, but I am pretty certain he does his calc. I'm pretty sure I live this. So I fortunately do live this. I live it on 1 health, and I'm going to be able to Flare Blitz this thing to Oblivion, and I will take Faint for my own recoil. So pretty much here, I just go straight Vanillux on this play, and just freeze dry, and I should be able to pick up the game. Alright, so I am going straight and free. His Haxorus, I'm anticipating I'm gonna do a ton to this thing with my Vanillux. So I'm gonna just freeze dry in case he switches, because if he switches, I need to be able to hit the Seismitoad as hard as possible. So I'm going to freeze dry, which should kill the Seismitoad. It does. So now I just stay in and freeze dry the Haxorus, and that should be the KO. And that should be the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would appreciate if you guys liked and subscribed, and leave a comment. I really appreciate reading your guys' comments, and we are now currently 2-0. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.